Guys, before this video starts, I want to tell you about this sick website that sells hella cheap NBA jerseys. The website is ringchasers.com. I copped myself a few jerseys on there a while back, and I honestly don't know how their prices are this cheap. If you guys want to get a sick deal on a jersey, make sure you check them out. Link will be in the description, and use code LQG at checkout for an extra 10% off. What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today we have for you guys NBA Legends pick between Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing. Both of them were great big men in the 90s, and although I have great respect for Patrick Ewing, me personally, I'd have to go with Hakeem Olajuwon, who's probably in my top 5 greatest players of all time. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below who you would go with and why, and also make sure I smash the like button. Let's see if we can hit 100 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We're releasing daily videos for the rest of 2021, so make sure you don't miss out. With that being said, let's get into NBA Legends pick, Hakeem Olajuwon or Patrick Ewing.
A couple of big men, Patrick Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon. The hand-to-hand combat that goes in there in your first hand there, what's it like, Shaq?
Hakeem Olajuwon had everything. You know, most all the other centers, at best, they got 2 or 3 moves. But Hakeem, he was very unpredictable on the block. You know, you thought he was going right, he would go left. You thought he'd shoot a jumper, he'd come with the up and under. And mentally, he was a guy you couldn't break. Like all the other guys I say something about in the paper, especially the Georgetown boys. You know, I say something about Alonzo, Dikembe, they get mad, you know how they play. But, you know, you say something about Hakeem or you throw Hakeem a ball, he just look at you and go, nice move, big fella. And, you know, I met with him in the finals, 94, 95?
Right.
And he just, you know, he was the first guy to actually embarrass me because I really didn't know what he was going to do. You know, you watch his tape and, you know, he faces up, he shoots the jumper, but when you're there, if that double ain't coming, he will score. He will score.
And on the other side, how about Patrick?
Patrick was mean. Patrick was mean. And, you know, all the Georgetown guys were mean. And, you know, coming up, I, you know, tried to pattern my game after Patrick. And, you know, Patrick was a great player, but if you ask me the better of the two, I'm going to have to go with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Kenny, I would think that there's no question.
Patrick Ewing.
As we've seen from the photos already, that Hakeem would be your pick.
I've never played against, never played with anyone that was that unique. Because you, defensively, get the dream shape, but defensively, if there was a pick and roll and you switched, he can guard a guard. He was able to move his feet and be able to be in position and guard a guard. Then, because his rule was, he said, Kenny, I'll play your man for 5 seconds. Just hold up the big guy, and then when he starts to shoot, I'll contest it and get back to mine. I'm like, you're gonna do all of that? Appreciate it. Like, how can you do all that? He really thought he could do it, and he actually did. So, to me, not even close in terms of what he brought to the table, just totally. Patrick is a great warrior, great competitor, and he probably played with the least amount of talent that any great Hall of Famer probably that you can mention in terms of, I don't think he ever played with another Hall of Famer. So he's the guy that maybe didn't have that talent around him but he's not Hakeem.
What was Hakeem like off the floor?
The most honorable guy I ever met. Like, that's a hard, you know, most people, oh, he's a nice guy, but honorable. Like, he just said what he was gonna do, and he did it. And he didn't, you know, I'm gonna be there at 3, I'm gonna pick you up. Like, if I'm on the highway, hey, I need a ride, oh, I'll be there in 15 minutes. 15 minutes, he's gonna be there. Like, he was that type of person.
Hakeem Olajuwon or Patrick Ewing?
Well, first of all, I think Patrick Ewing is probably the most underrated of all the great centers because he didn't win the championship. But I will say this about him. That guy, he's a man. Yeah, he's a teddy bear. But I'm going to go with Olajuwon because I'm going to piggyback on something Kenny said. I've said sports is a unique group of people. It's a lot of good stuff and bad stuff that goes on in sports. Hakeem Olajuwon is an honorable person. And I've only said that about a couple guys in my whole NBA venture.
Any of us here? Or?
No, not quite. Y'all are all good guys, but Kenny started now. Kenny is honorable. I mean, Kenny said Hakeem is honorable.
Yeah, Kenny said Hakeem is honorable, not that you're honorable.
But I will straight. But you know the thing that amazed me about Hakeem Olajuwon is, first of all, he's so good. He changed his name. He used to be Hakeem. He was so good. He changed it to Hakeem.
Or something in that neighborhood.
Hakeem, yeah.
What?
No, he was Hakeem, he changed it to Hakeem. But if you were to say, yeah, let's make him take that shot, the shots he take, like if you're a good defensive coach, you say, yeah, let's make him take that 360 fadeaway, half his head behind the backboard. Like, that's the shots he shoot. Like, we played them in 2 memorable 7-game series, and I'm sitting there looking at tape, I'm like, homeboy just did a 360, half his head is behind the backboard. The only thing on the outside of the backboard on the court is the ball. The rest of them, I don't even know if he can see the rim. But it's the most amazing thing, the shots he takes.
And you know, see, when we were watching that video coming into the segment, when they show that dream shake against David Robinson, which is the one that, I mean, you guys, everybody's shaking their head and everybody goes, woo! I mean, what do you, when you see a big man with those kind of moves and that fluid, what did you think?
I think about 2 things. I think, one, the fact that he made that move because you thought he was going to do the jump hook. Because he can hit you with the basic move. He has basic moves. So you have to be really good basically first to add everything else. And then when he hits you with the left shoulder or right turn, you know, the playoffs, fresh rookie year, you know, you get a book of what type of moves every guy like. He go 40% over shoulder. Hakeem, it was nothing but on this side, he may go left, he may go right. And he was the only guy ever in the NBA that was my height and a center that you had to move your feet when he's in front of you. Hakeem just didn't have the shake on the baseline. He would get you at the free throw line, give you a little stutter step dribble, and you wouldn't know what to do as a big guy. You look in the guards, you know, for help. And Hakeem wasn't that big. That's all. When I saw him, I was like, okay, he's not that big. And to be every time he's blocking shots, elbow over the rim or the jump shots, his game to me was just. It was just so versatile.
It's funny, you talk about elbow to the rim and that big. He said to me one time, he's like, Kenny, I'm really sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? He said, because sometimes you sit out practice and you say you have this thing called tendonitis. I'm like, yeah, you know. He said, I have it. It feels like a headache in your knee. This was 14 years into he had never had tendonitis. Right. He never knew what that was. So I'm like, yeah, I said, Dream, my name, I got migraines some days.
You know, as a guard, that was the first big man that I started asking tape for, because I wanted to see his footwork. I mean, one thing, Kenny, I could say, watching him in the layup line, him handling the basketball, he has spin moves. So I'm thinking, you know, big guys, where does he get this from? But then also talking to Jim Boylan, who was the kind of assistant coach was doing video for y'all, I was always asking him, he said the biggest thing about Hakeem was his counters. You know, everything a defensive had was his counters. So for me, trying to post up, I'm trying to learn all the counters. Unbelievable, phenomenal to try to pattern your footwork as Hakeem. I couldn't do it because this is a guy that the footwork, it seemed like it was just fluid. It was something off of feel versus everybody trying to break it down.
Look, I agree with everyone here on the panel. I would go with Hakeem Olajuwon out of the 2, but the guy that kept me up most nights because he was in our conference was Patrick Ewing. And not only because he was well coached under the Riley years, but you knew what you were getting defensively when the Knicks drafted Patrick. We knew he was going to protect the basket. But I think all of us would be a little bit shocked that he has over 25,000 points because he wasn't a scorer while he was at Georgetown. And the way he evolved offensively, yeah, he's not in the category of a Shaq or a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Hakeem Olajuwon, but you talk about one of the meanest guys to protect the paint. Patrick Ewing was that guy.
And you had so many memorable nights against that team. You talked about being in the same conference, but the Pacers and the Knicks, and it was you, and it was Starks, and it was Spike, and it was Patrick Ewing, and I imagine those matchups even ratchet up that meanness and that intensity even more.
But not only that, I don't think a lot of New Yorkers give Patrick Ewing the credit that he deserves. A lot of times he was the scapegoat, and it's unfair to him because this was one guy that brought 110% each and every night he took the floor. And yeah, he didn't win a championship, but it wasn't because of a lack of effort. And you know, when you hear New Yorkers talk about Patrick and sometimes the misfortune and not winning a championship, I scratch my head because there's a lot of us on this panel because of the great Michael Jordan didn't win a lot of championships. And he just falls into that category.
I'll give you the final word, Steve Kerr, on this when you put these 2 guys together and what they both brought to the table.
Well, as a guard, you have to learn defensively to help down and rotate. And I thought it was a lot easier to help down on Patrick. He was a little bit more mechanical offensively, so you could help and the team could kind of figure out the rotations. With Hakeem, it was impossible. I mean, as soon as you come down, he's spinning the other way. Now your rotations are a mess. That guy was unguardable down the block.
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, we're releasing daily videos for all of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.